Alright, this last part of multiplying is called multiplying polynomials. And basically, if you look at the problem that I already have written down here, it just means that they're bigger than binomials. And really, it could be anything because it's a polynomial, right? It could have one term, could have two terms. But pretty much here, we're going to be looking at three or more terms in one of the parentheses, okay? And the two methods that we're going to do here, okay, are basically the same methods that we did before. Okay, you have two. You have distribute. Okay, that basically in the two terms it was called foiling, but now we have three, so you can't just do FOIL because there's more than three times you got to multiply. Okay, and the other one is the Punnett square. Okay, which hopefully you remember from the multiplying binomials together too. Now again, it doesn't matter which method you choose, you can do whichever one you want. I personally like to distribute, but you got to make sure you're paying attention when you do it. So I'm going to use all three colors here because we have lots of distributing to do. Alright, so let's start here. Let's start with the 2c squared, and you're just going to distribute that to all three terms. Okay, so 2c squared times 2c squared is 4c to the fourth. 2c squared times negative c will give you negative 2c to the third. 2c squared times 3 will give you plus 6c squared. Okay, that's the first one. Alright, now I'm going to go blue here and go on the bottom. So 3c times 2c squared, that'll give you plus 6c to the third. 3c times negative c will give you negative 3c squared. And 3c times 3 will give you plus 9c. Okay, and I chose red last so that I could overlap here. So I got negative 4 now times 2c squared. Oh, and I'm going to have to run out of some space here, so hopefully this will just erase. Alright, now that's the only problem with these problems, they're super big. Okay, so negative 4 times 2c squared will give you negative 8c squared. Negative 4 times negative c will give you plus 4c, and negative 4 times positive 3 will give you negative 12. Alright, so we're very colorful. Okay, now the next part is to go through and underline like terms. Okay, so we have a 4c to the fourth, and no more c to the fourths. So then we have a negative 2c to the third, we have a 6c to the third, and that is it. Alright, then we got a plus 6c squared, we have a negative 6c squared, and we have a negative 8c squared, sorry. And then finally, well not finally, we got a c, we got another c over here, and then last but not least, we have a constant. Alright, so let's go through and put them together. So we have one of the 4c to the fourths. Okay, so that guy's done. Let's go c to the thirds. So we have two of those. So we got negative 2 and we got positive 6, so that's going to give us positive 4 c to the thirds. So we'll cross those guys off. We're done. We have 3 c squareds. So we got plus 6 minus 3, that's going to give us positive 3, and then minus 8, so that's going to give us negative 5 c squared. So let's cross all those guys off. Now we're at our c's. We got a positive 9 and a positive 4, so that's plus 13c. And last but not least, we have our negative 12. That's it. Okay, that's how you distribute it. Okay, it's not very difficult. You just got to make sure you're taking your time and make sure that you're distributing to everything that you have on there. Now, the Punnett square is a little more difficult. I'm going to shrink this down and move it over a little bit. Okay, it's the same thing as we did before. Whoa, sorry about that. Got to put it back on pen first. So make your box. Okay, and in your box, this time you're going to need 3 across and 3 down. And you just write 1 across the top, so 2c squared plus 3c minus 4, and we're good. And then down the side, now we're doing the same problem if you haven't noticed there. Sorry, I didn't mention that first. Negative c and plus 3. And then you're doing the same thing, you're just multiplying them all together. Okay, some people really like this way because it keeps them nice and organized. It's up to you how you do it. So 2c squared times 2c squared, that's going to give you 4c to the fourth. And we have 2c squared times 3c, that'll give you 6c to the third. Did I do that right? Yeah. Whew. Getting a little confused myself here. Then we go 2c squared times negative 4 will give you negative 8c squared. Next line, negative c times 2c squared, that's negative 2c to the third. We have negative c there, so we got negative 3c squared, and we got positive 4c. And then we have 6c squared, we have 9c, and negative 12. Okay, then you go through and find your like terms. So our like terms are our c to the thirds. We have some c squareds. Notice how, if you look here, okay, they're all making little diagonals, right? Kind of cool, huh? Alright, and then the first two are the same. So we got 4c to the fourth, negative 2c to the third, and then we got plus 4c to the third. We got 6, negative 3 is 3, and negative 5, negative 8 is negative 5c squared. We got plus, oh, running out of space here. See if I can move it all over. Oh, look at that, I can. So we got plus 13c and minus 12. And look at that, our two answers are exactly the same. We didn't mess up on either one. So there you go. Okay, you got two methods. You can distribute if you like, or you can do the Punnett square. It's up to you. You got a couple try these, so give those a shot. Alright, let's take a look at the try these now. Oh, I think I need to shrink this down just a hair. There we go. Now, if I were you, well, it doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm going to do it just for the sake of, nah, don't worry about it. I was going to talk about distributing backwards, so doing the binomial distributing, but it really doesn't matter. So we'll start with the b squared times b squared is going to be b to the fourth. B squared times 5 is plus 5b squared. We have 3b times b squared. That's going to be plus 3b to the third. We have 3b times 5 will be plus 15b. And last but not least, negative 4 times b squared, and negative 4 times 5 is negative 5. Oh, sorry, it's not negative 5, it's negative 20. Somebody just wasn't thinking yet. Okay, now we combine like terms. We have 1b4, we have 2b squareds, we have 1b to the third, we have 1b, and we have 1 constant. So we got b to the fourth. I'm going to do the b to the third first, so I put it in order right now. So plus 3b to the third. We have 2b squared, so 5b squared and negative 4b squared is just going to leave us with 1b squared, which I don't need to put the 1. I got a plus 15b and negative 20. There you go. There's your answer for that one. Okay. If you want to do the Punnett square, feel free, but I'm just going to do the distributing on here. Okay, next one. So let's start distributing here. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times 4y will give you positive 8xy. Then we have negative 3y times 3x will give you negative 9xy. Negative 3y times 4y give you negative 12y squared. And we got 5 times 3x will give us plus 15x 4x, and 5 times 4y will give us plus 20y. Alright, lots of different terms here. So there's only one x squared. There's two xy's. There's one y squared. There is one x, and there is one y. So we got 6x squared. And that's done. 8xy and negative 9xy will give you negative xy. Those two are done. Let's go to our x. We got plus 15x. Then we got negative 12y squared and plus 20y. Okay, so we're in order and we're good. Alright, let's look at the last one. Alright, so lots of distributing on this one. First one, 3a squared and a squared will give you 3a to the fourth. 3a squared and 5a will give you plus 15a to the third. And the last one, 3a squared and 1 times 1 will give you plus 3a squared. Okay, next, negative 2a times a squared will give you negative 2a to the third. Negative 2a plus times 5a will give you negative 10a squared. Negative 2a times 1 will give you negative 2a. And I'm already writing too big, so I better shrink this down just a hair. Alright, now we got times 4. So 4 times a squared will give you plus 4a squared. 4 times 5a will give you plus 20a. And 4 times 1 will give you 4. Alright, like terms. We got 3a to the fourth. That's it. We got a to the third and a to the third. We're done with those. We got 3 of the a squareds. We got 2 a's. Love my English here. We got. And finally we have a constant. Alright, so 3a to the fourth. 15a cubed and negative 2a cubed will give you plus 13a cubed. There we get plus. So we're done with that. 3a squared, negative 10a squared will give you negative 7a squared, plus we got one more of 4. So negative 7 and 4 will give you negative 3a squared. Negative 2a and positive 20a will give you positive 18a. And last but not least, we got plus 4. Alright, there we go. We're all kinds of smart now. We're basically done with the multiplication of polynomials. We know how to do it all now. The only thing left that you have to do is finding the area of figures and stuff, and that's kind of like applying what you're learning here, so we'll take care of that in a minute.